Another method of solving system of linear equations is by elimination. So I have one equation and second equation. I'm going to rewrite these so they're a little bit bigger. So I have x plus 3y equals negative 2. The second equation says x minus 3y equals 16. And I'm sure you've noticed the job right now that I have, just like when we did substitution, is I cannot solve an equation with two variables and get a number, right? I have to have only one variable to actually figure out what x is or what y is or any kind of letter, right? If I have two, there's no way I can solve it. Well, elimination says literally eliminate one variable. Elimination is you go top to bottom. You're going to be looking at your like terms and see if you combine them, if you can eliminate one, which means eliminate, annihilate it, make it to be zero, make it to be gone. Well, let's look. Let's look at the x's. They're both positive, right? So 1x plus 1x, that's 2x. They did not cancel, right? So, all right. Let's see and let's hope our y's will cancel. I have positive plus 3y and then I have minus 3y. Well, if I don't know, I'm going to use my calculator, right? But I do know that plus 3 minus 3 will give me 0. The reason is they're the same number, yet opposite sign. If I have a same number, opposite sign, it's going to cancel itself out. It's going to be gone. So I know that. So good. I'm actually really happy because I am eliminating one variable. And strictly what I'm going to go, I go top to bottom, add or subtract to solve for 1. So I have 1x and 1x. I've got literally 2x. 3y minus 3y, that's 0. That's gone. I still have the equal sign. Negative 2 plus 16 is 14. Well, I am solving for x at this point, right? Because y got eliminated. So I'm solving for x. 2 times x, well, I have to divide, right? Opposite of multiply is divide. And when I do that, my answer will be that x, 1x, equals 14 divided by 2 is 7. I solved for my x. Wow, how easy that is. I love elimination. So I solved for x. Now I have to solve for y. And that one is easy. You guys, your only job is to decide which one of these two equations you want to use. It doesn't matter which one, you will still get the same answer. So I'm going to say I'm going to use equation 1 to solve for y. Because I know x, I can just replace the x with the 7 and then solve for y. Let's use equation 1. Equation 1 says x plus 3y equals negative 2. And since we solved for x, I am going to substitute that x in, right? So let's do that. So I got x is 7. 7 plus 3y equals negative 2. I know I'm solving for the y, right? That means, wait a second, there's multiplication between these two. So I will not touch that 3 either. That means take that 7 and move it away. How do I move the 7 from one side to the other side of the equal sign? Well, it's positive in here. To make it to be 0, I have to subtract it. What I do on one side, I do on the other side of the equal sign. 7 minus 7 is 0, so I achieved what I wanted to be gone. I still have my positive 3y equals negative 2 minus 7. Not negative 2 minus negative 7. Negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. Please do use calculators if you have to. I am solving for y. That means divide by 3 both sides. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I am left with 1y equals negative 9 divided by positive 3 is -3. The solution to the system of these two equations is x is 7, y is -3. You can give it to me this way or as an ordered pair. X comes first. 7, y is -3. I don't care which way you're going to give it to me. There could be also sometimes a problem that, let's say, look like this. If I look at my x's, right, I want to see if they will eliminate each other. Well, 3x plus 7x, did they cancel? 4y plus 4y, that's 8y. It did not cancel. I ran into a little pickle. So I know that 3 does not go equally into 7, right, evenly. However, I know 4 goes into 4 evenly. But 1, 4 has to be negative in order to give me a 0. Right now they're both positive. I add them, I'll get 8. I want to have a 0. So I want 1, 4 to be a -4 and 1 stay positive 4. So the question I'm going to ask myself is, if I keep this one as a 4, what do I have to do to the second 4 to make it a -4? And the way to do it is using multiplication. So the question is 4 times what number will give me -4? I know 4 times 1 is +4. Well, what about 4 times -1? Will that give me -4? It will. So this is what I want. I know I have to multiply this 4 by -1 to convert it into a -4. Now, we've talked about in a classroom that if I multiply one thing in an equation by a number, every single number has to get multiplied by that number. So I'm going to put this in a one big parenthesis, and I'm going to multiply this whole equation by -1, right? Distributive property. I'm going to rewrite the first equation. The first equation stays the same. I did not do anything to it because I said I want that 4 to be positive, because right now 4 minus 4 is giving me that 0, right? And I wanted these two to cancel out because it was the easiest one for me to cancel. So I have 3x plus 4y equals -6. Now let's look at the second equation. I know I have to multiply by -1. -1 times 7x is -7x. -1 times +4y is -4y equals -1 times -14 is +14. Now I'm going to look at that and I'm going to hope that I changed it good enough that one of these variables actually will cancel out and will become that 0, which I want it to be, right? One of these two variables has to go away. So let's see. 3x minus 7x is what? -4x. 4y minus 4y. Yes, it's 0. Same number, different sign, right? They will cancel each other out. Equals -6 plus 14 is what? +8. Now I'm trying to solve for the x, so now I know I have to divide by -4, right? And my x equals -2 because +8 divided by -4 is -2. I found my x. And now y is easy to find. Guys, please, your choice as to which equation you're going to use to solve for y. I don't care. If I look at these numbers, I usually like to pick the smaller numbers. And if I'm looking for y, I want the y to be positive. Well, I'm going to pick the first equation. The first equation says 3x plus 4y equals -6. We solved for x. We know x is negative 2, right? So that means everywhere I see x in that other equation, I will substitute it in with the negative 2. So let's do that. 3 times x. What is x? We found is negative 2. Plus 4y equals negative 6. And now we start solving. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus 4y equals negative 6. I am solving for y. That means don't touch that 4 because there's a multiplication. Multiplication is the last thing. So this 6 wants to go over there. The 6 is going from one side to the other side, so I have to do the opposite. Plus 6. Plus 6. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. I am left with 4 times the y equals negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Divide by 4 both sides, and my y is equal to 0. So, oh, that's a nice square. X equals negative 2, y equals 0. You want to give it to me as a ordered pair? Negative 2, 0. I don't care which way you give it to me.